strict diet of what goes on in the streets.
And finally, Tupac, your friendship with that, because that was shown in that movie. And, a lot of people like, him and no Pac? So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, me and Pac became very good friends. When I first came to Death Row, we sat down and we mapped out a game plan, and Tupac actually was writing the blueprint down of what me and him was going to do together. And to the extent that he wanted to go to high schools, and when he got to the high schools, he wanted a requirement, and we were going to do these concerts, right? And it was going to be me, him, and Snoop, by the way, and some of the other Death Row family, the Dog Pound and Nate Dogg. But this was Pac's idea, and what Pac wanted to do was he wanted to give concerts at certain high schools all up and down the coast and so forth and so on. But the requirement was if you don't have a C, you can't get in. And his strategy was gonna be, he said, Ham, this is how we gonna do this. I'm gonna blame it on you. You know what I'm saying? This is what Uncle Ham saying I got to do. And because we don't want to mess up the overall concept of how we get down. And I loved him for that, because at the same time he said, now Ham, I'm gonna make these records for you, and I want you to speak even more to the streets from the other side on these records. And he really did that, man. By the second or third day I was in Death Row, I came in at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and they said, hey man, Pac was here, Ham, he made you about 3 records. I said, made me about 3 records? He said, yeah, you were saying something the other day about you love Skin Tight, man. He's got a whole thing. Baby, back up if you asthmatic. This track I had you going way back like Bad Habits. I heard you talking loud and clear, but you ain't saying nothing. He was rapping like he Hammer, and he put the whole thing down, man. And man, I loved him for that, man, because he was a dude, man, who was so true to his word. And man, over the course of about a year almost, we flew around places together. We sat down and we mapped out ideas on what to do next. We made records, and we dreamed together. You know what I'm saying? And it was just devastating, when he lost his life in the way that he lost his life. And I'm so glad and elated to see that his movement, and what he really stood for came out in the long run. In other words, the world was not allowed to pigeonhole him as just one particular type of rapper, because he was always more than that. You know what I'm saying? He was always more than that. He was always a dude destined for great leadership. He was always a dude who loved his sisters and loved his mom and his mother, and wanted to see great things. He had activism in his blood. You know what I'm saying? His mother, everybody know, you know what I'm saying? But remember, that's why we loved each other so much and became such good friends, because that same Panther movement had a lot of its origins right here, in the town. And the Black Panthers headquarters was right around the street from my grandmother's house. So I'm all up and down and in that. And so we had a commonality in us, you know what I'm saying? And rest in peace, man. But even in talking about it, I have fond memories, you know what I'm saying? And I cherish them, because Tupac was a special dude, and he deserves his history and where he is, and the mortar that he is in the game. He deserved that, because man, what was coming next, the world wasn't ready for. I mean, this dude was gonna take it to the next level. He was gonna take this hip hop thing to the Cornel West level. You know what I'm saying? He was headed toward that direction. He was gonna take the film thing to not just movies of being a movie star, but movies that would impact your soul, your thinking. He was headed towards all that.
Yeah, it was a wonderful, and I'm sure a scary sight when I seen you, him, and Snoop at that press conference, talking about how you was going to take all your fans and flip them into a political force. That was the last thing. That was very scary.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's how serious it is. And to understand, David, that we actually sat down and talked about that. You know what I'm saying? That we gonna, okay, Hammer, you gonna get all the Hammer fans. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say earlier when I said this how we gonna approach, the high school thing. It's Hammer's movement to do it, but Pac riding with him because he's my brother. And then when he move one way, I'm riding with him because he's my brother. So we're gonna take Pac fans, Snoop fans, Hammer fans, and we're gonna make a political movement. So when we want certain people in office, we're gonna tell all our fans, this the dude that represents us, this the woman that represents us. And we were, as you know, you was at that press conference when we announced that. So man, it was scary to a lot of people.
It's so scary that they don't show that. You never see that on MTV, BET, or any of those places. The news doesn't bring it up. They talk about a lot of things. But to see you three at the height when Death Row was at a dynasty, You know, to see like, wow, Hammer, Pac, and Snoop all sitting there, you know, and now it seems like Snoop is coming to his own and is trying to, you know, figure out, you know, how to keep it positive, and you're coming back with a lot of new faces in your movement, and hopefully that dream can be fulfilled.
Well, there's no choice. See, the dream has to be fulfilled because what we're doing right now is so powerful that we got a lot of forces against us, more than people ever know. But it's no real stopping us. You know what I'm saying? We speak in code. We speak through our spirit and vibrations and movement. That's why the hyphy movement is important. That's why the youngsters in L.A. crumping and clown dancing is important. See, it's not just a dance, and we need to say this. Notice that in every region where it's hot, it's a dance affiliated with it. See, dudes can't sugarcoat it. You can say it how you want to. Gangsters don't dance. That was the funniest thing I ever heard, because all these killers around me always dance, kill you dead, man, and then dance around you. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the funniest things I ever heard. Matter of fact, I ain't never met no killers who don't dance. You know what I'm saying? They gonna dance first, then shoot you. But the thing is, all of these dances, if you look down in the ATL, what you think? Them ain't thugs that's doing the snap dance? You know what I'm saying? You ever been to St. Louis? You ever been to East St. Louis? What you think? Who you think was doing them dances that you saw coming out of St. Louis? Man, them is the streets. The street always got to dance with it. What you think the crip walk is? You know what I'm saying? This is dancing. I'm only saying that to say that with all of these movements right now, it's a dance affiliated with it. Because we tribal. That's what we are. That's who we are. Africans. We tribal with it. We gonna dance. The thing, you look at one of the movies, see it before they get at you, if they'll go ahead and put this dance down tonight, and tomorrow they gonna tear your head off. Well, symbolically, that's the same way we moving right now. In LA, we crumping. Up in the Bay, we getting hypey. Down south over there, they snapping. But it's coming at you, baby. We dancing. Watch out when all the dancers get together. It's a movement.
They was dancing in Brazil a long time ago, and that's how they got free. Capoeira. They didn't know. But like you said, we speak in code. That's MC Hammer. We've been hanging out with him all afternoon. It's been a pleasure, and we'll be on the lookout. His newer album and project, Look 3 Times, and he got it from the town. That's something to remember. We out.